You are now watching the Counterpress podcast, Conversations That Count, and you're here with Nokwazi Nomia and Talia Swatboy. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave us a little something in the comments.
So with that being said, actually, let's look at the squad, the Banyana Banyana squad that's going to Morocco. Because if we have to take it back, we have like 3 spots available because Janine Van Wyk, Robyn Moodaly, and Noko Matlou, who were involved in the 2022 WAFCON, have since retired from the national team, with Robyn Moodaly 2023, Janine Van Wyk last year 2024, and we saw Noko Matlou playing her last game in the last friendly with the national team, and she also announced her retirement. So 3 spots available.
Yeah, so wait, what are you hinting at? That keep the team the same and look for 3 players, or what have you said?
But 2 years is a long time, eh?
True.
Because players change, there's some injuries,
Yeah.
So I think like either way, the team is gonna change.
Sure, but I think just looking at that 2022 team with the exclusion of the 3 that you've already mentioned, we see an additional 7 omissions from that team, that winning team, maybe let me say. And we've touched on Thembi, who was a part of that team. I think another player who also made, some headlines, many of you know her as Lipstick Lady.
Oh, Nomvula.
Nomvula, yes, from TS Galaxy. But we also see, UWC goalkeeper Rigel, not in that team as well. Soft Life, Melinda Kgatlana is not in there. And then, just, looking at that, so Coach Diaz has opted, to bring in new players. But I think while we, still on there, a shocking one, I think, for the nation, not just for us here at Counterpress, but Thembi Kgatlana.
Actually, I saw that she wasn't in the squad, but there was nothing said around that, because before we even talk about Thembi Kgatlana, we saw a statement from Janine, but she's playing in the WAFCON.
Sure.
She announced that she's retiring after the WAFCON. But with Thembi, we haven't seen anything. She hasn't said anything. The Banyana team hasn't said anything. Do you know what's happening next?
Coach Diaz did, when she did do the announcement, of course, every journalist, every media outlet is going to ask, where is Thembi? And she's not just a prevalent player, I think, for us as South African women's football, but on the African continent, she's one of those players that every major tournament you want to see, what she's going to bring to the tournament.
And she's proven it.
Yeah, of course.
Winning the award for African Player of the Year and stuff like that.
But, in saying that, you touched on Robyn Moodaly, who since retired after the FIFA World Cup, and, she stepped away from the national team on the basis of mental health, right? And when Coach Diaz was asked about this omission from Thembi, she said she stepped away or chose not to be a part of this team due to personal reasons, Okay. So we respect that, much like the team has respected that, or the federation has respected that. Us as a nation, we don't know what it is that she is dealing with. Bear in mind, she suffered her Achilles tear
and she was out
in
for
this
a while.
tournament as well. So, we don't know what...
Maybe it's the flashbacks, like what if it happens again and I'm set back again?
Sure, but, also she's playing in, I think, a league or setup where they run on different calendars to us. And, like we mentioned, she is that player that every team needs, So maybe it is that her team needs her more. Maybe she's not even with the team, regardless of what her reason for stepping away is. We spoke about it in the last episode. At the end of the day, these players are human beings, and
we must treat them like that,
And if you're not in the right state of mind, it's impossible to get on the field and give 100%. You can push that or suppress those feelings, suppress, your overthinking or whatever the case may be. Now we're speculating.
Yeah, but it catches up to you.
Exactly my point. And, you touched on Jermaine. And
it was a surprising one, and it's sad. I didn't want to see her leave at so soon.
Yeah. I think there's so much that I personally could touch on that, but for the sake of being diplomatic, perhaps. I think, to roughly put it, when you let's do this.
What are you coming with now? Because I know once you do that, something is gonna shake.
No, not even, but you're in a relationship, right? And
might be, might not.
or
yeah.
okay, maybe not even in a relationship, but you have a certain type, right? And with your type, you are exposed to a certain level of things, certain level of way of life, right? Until you meet the passport bros.
International,
You see? Monumental.
I was about to say that.
You're gonna live forever, ever.
Okay.
Be serious. On a serious note, though. But yeah, and then you start to broaden your horizon, and you get out of your norm or what you're used to, and you see, man, wait.
Yeah.
Life is different here, And in drawing the comparison between these two, this is my assumption, right? You go and you're playing in Mexico, or you're playing wherever it so may be, outside of the borders of South Africa, right? And you are exposed to a certain level of professionalism, a certain level of training, a certain level of preparation, a certain level of treatment, right? Forget compensation. Compensation can be, the fifth, sixth element, but you're exposed to a different, look on life as a professional athlete. And you return, and you're like,
things are different. What's happening?
It's
I'm used to this. Now I'm back here.
Exactly. But then you still expected to perform as you are, where you are given the tools to perform at your highest level. But then you call to a space where perhaps what your support is not the same. And again, like I say, we're human at the end of the day. You not to say you compare these things, but you try.
Anyways,
You try. And why I say you try, we look at the Banyana team going into the previous WAFCON. Their last match, their last international friendly, they boycotted it. And you ask yourself why? The federation wasn't talking about bonus structures. They weren't talking about pay. The girls were going there with no clear financial expectations and aspirations, right? Yes, we want to.
Because one thing is that finances will actually motivate you to do everything you can. Because we need that.
Yes. Well, they say cash rules everything around you.
In this economy,
So many people, we might get backlash for this, right? Where they're saying, but they must, put the country first, and you can't go to the grocery store and say, I've got 110 cats. Please give me food. You can't put 110 cats.
Because the thing is,
tank.
If I'm trying my best not to compare, but if you look at Bafana and you look at Banyana, they go into camp knowing very well what they're getting out. Banyana, you're like, just go. You'll see when you get there.
And you say that, and you're not wrong, because as we speak, the team in Morocco, their first match day, they had a sitting, and that brings us back to France 2010.
We're not training. Someone needs to say something.
We're
defending champions, but if you're not promising us anything, what are we playing for? Why are we,
Yeah, and don't get us wrong, to play for your country, yes, that is an achievement on its own. It's an honor on its own, but we need to live.
Something needs to give sometimes.
It can't be that every single major tournament, and worse, that we're going to defend this tournament. How are the girls having a sitting on the basis of unpaid fees, unpaid salaries?
Building towards, it's not even like we're saying, now that we're there, we want to see what we can get out.
Sure.
We've been to camp, we've been doing all these things, and we still haven't been paid for those things. And now we in Morocco, nothing has been said, but we expected to go and perform.
So that's why I say, and it's never right to support protest, maybe. But when you stand for something that is just and something that you or believe you are owed, rightfully so, for these players, you know, they in camp, they are walking away from, because again, we've spoken about this thing of female footballers having to balance jobs. You can't be a professional footballer. So while you're in camp, you're losing whatever money that you understand, and you've been in camp, you haven't been paid. Again, like I say, you're not going to the grocery store.
Even getting yourself to where the camp is taking place, you need to take yourself there. It's your petrol, it's this, it's that, you know.
The thing is, for me, as talent,
it is
you know? For me, I just feel like the players have fought their fought. And sometimes if your partner, let's call it, is unwilling to listen to you, they're not going to walk away, you know, and you can continue to, I try to, you know, make you hear me. I try to make it better for those that are coming after me, but I see no change. So, you know, it's a tough one.
It's such a subject.
But again, speculation, right?
It's speculation.
Our speculation. So that's just how we feel. But you know, to make it a bit lighter, right? To make it a bit lighter. In that team, you know, we spoke about those senior players retiring, your star players sort of, you know, on their way out the door. I'm not too sure about Thembi's career. Janine has made it very clear that, you know, after this major tournament, she's done. And we look at your new blood that's coming into the national team. You know, we spoke on Bonolo, that young sensation. I mean, age of 17.
She's already
if I'm not mistaken, for sure. If I'm not mistaken, you know, when we look back at your previous camps or major tournaments, I think it was Olympics, we saw a very young Jermaine herself, Robyn Moodaly, and Caleb Swart, actually before Thembi and Wim's time, the three of them were very young in that national team camp. So, you know, not to say history repeats itself, but we may be seeing a change of hand with these young players. I mean, we have Adriel Mibe from University of Johannesburg. And then we also see Lona Temba and Tongo, but to keep it there, yes, Ronald Donnelly, and pairing up with Casey. You know, we've been speaking about Casey Gordon's specialized position in that goalkeeping. But, you know, like I say, it could be that we're seeing a change of hand in the national team. Coach Des has touched on, you know, not necessarily say a calm rebuild, but trying to introduce, you know, new combinations, new faces in that squad. But overall, with that, I think it's a good squad that can go there and compete. I think.
But also, with that being said, do you have like any players you would have wanted to see in this selection? Or
I think
Leandra, since we said first part that she's been doing great in the team, she has a vast of experience with the national team, she's scoring goals, she's a striker. Since Thembi is not available, we know that she's a goal poacher, she scores. But do you think Leandra could have been, you know,
look,
fit?
I think we've spoken about it, you know, she has a wealth of experience. She might not provide the same speed and pace as Thembi, but I think perhaps, you know, I mean, she's putting up numbers, you know. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So she's putting up numbers in the Hollywood bit. So perhaps having her in the team could have provided a different element, and maybe where she lacks in speed or in pace. There you have your young bloods that we just, you know, spoke on. You look at Ronald Donnelly. She's a speedy player. She's strong. She's physical. You look at her build. She is very similar to Man City, the Jamaican chick.
Oh, Bonnie Shaw.
Very, very similar in physique or physicality of her game as well. She can strike a ball, so, you know, aerial
she has the height
advantages there. broke Sundowns.
Because if you look at us, but Banyana, like we do not have height, eh? Like I always watch our games, we're like shorties, but we bring it in the field.
Messi don't have height, no?
Yeah, Dynamite comes in.
Small packages.
You know.
So yeah, no man, I just think that perhaps could have been an addition. I think a addition or omission, I don't know where she would really fall in this category, but Shakira O'Malley.
Mm-hmm.
She has been
with the team
for some time, yeah. And you know, I think she first initially joined the team when they played Jamaica.
Yeah.
I could be mistaken, but you know, she's been there. She's been, you know, consistently in that squad when they are playing, you know, their friendly games. And spoke about Janine and Noko retiring. Bamanani's coming back from injury, and I thought that she would have integrated into the team and, you know, made the short list for this WAFCON, but, you know, I guess the coaches probably went with familiarity, where we see Lona Thembi in that squad. You know, she's played with the people around her.
Even Gabriella, we see her, she's in the squad, also the final squad, because she didn't play the last WAFCON because of injury. She fractured her collarbone. But now it's time for her. But also, this time around, it's a different position, but she's played this position like twice already with the national team. So I think she's there also, you know. Yeah. And then I'm not gonna say surprising one. It's the goalkeeper from TS Galaxy.
Dineo Makugula.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Clean sheet.
Sure. I think kudos to Dineo. She, you know, currently holds the highest clean sheets in the league. TS Galaxy is sitting pretty at 2.
Number 2.
So yeah, you know, Coach Des has said, pick up your hand, say, I'm ready to compete, and I think she's done that with her performances, and congratulations to her, you know, and hopefully she does, you know, get some minutes, and we have a successful campaign. But just going back to what I said, you know, I think Coach Des gets a lot of criticism, but when we look at, you know, the teams in this WAFCON, right?
And
before we even jump into our group, you know, I think with us excluding, of course, your qualifying games and so forth, your COSAFA as well, just considering the 24-25 season and the friendlies. Yeah, the friendlies that we've played, you know, in preparation of this tournament, we've played 10. We've won 7. 6 actually. We've won 6 and we've lost 4.
4.
I think it's 4. Yeah, we've lost 4.
Because I know we lost against the internationals, which was Jamaica.
We played Jamaica twice.
Oh yeah, we played Jamaica twice.
So yeah, you see, you know, I mean, Denmark game shaky. Yeah, shaky. What is it?
But expected.
Shaky, but no man. And then we saw them play England, and I mean, England.
That was the best outcome we could have gotten, eh?
Listen, if they gave us, you know, some games you say, even if they gave them 10, 15 minutes more, they were never going to score. Believe me.
We were going to score. It was such a nice match to watch.
So,
and also the score, like...
of course.
Because you would expect Banyana to lose to England, because England is this...
And especially after the results against Denmark.
You know?
Yeah.
So they went in that game and they're like, no, we need to perform. We need to show them what we made of, you know?
Yeah.
And they actually did.
Yeah. And no doubt. And then, you know, going to Jamaica, I think first game lost 3-0 and then second game was 3-2. And I think just in that, you know, maybe it was, you know, adapting to the climate and so forth, because we saw a better result in the second leg. Or maybe we say a little bit shaky first round, but then second round we get better, right? Because shaky against Denmark, better.
You have to build. You can't just put on your cards, all of them there, you know?
That's right. So now do we say in the group, what do we expect in the group? Because then knockout stages, that means we're going to be on fire. Because we know how to come and we know how to show up, you know, at the second half of things.
But you know what? While we're preparing, other teams are also preparing. So you can't.
That's true. That's true.
But I trust my girls.
No, for sure. And I think, you know, looking at the 3 groups of these upcoming WAFCON, I think, you know, prominent teams among South Africa is, of course, the host Morocco, Nigeria, and then Zambia.
Super Falcon.
Yeah, and then Zambia. But like you said, before we get to those top 4 teams, I think just to note, in the South African group, then that's Group C, there's Ghana, Mali, and Tanzania, right? And not to be overconfident, but
you're looking at the preparations of
of course.
Like, Banyana Banyana is not the only team, but it's the only team that actually played 3 European outside of Africa, teams. And then you look at, is it Tanzania who played 1 international game?
Yeah.
But if you take a look at that, do you think we have more experience because we've played with people outside of Africa while they were preparing and they were only playing against African teams? Do you think we have an upper hand towards that?
Yeah, of course. What good does it do you to keep on playing opponents that you know how to come up against them, you know what type of football they play? Yes, you can watch Denmark and you can watch England play over and over until you're inside there's a different game. You understand? So with that, I think it was a very, at the time we may have looked at it and we're like, not the same South Africa from the World Cup. Not the, but no, we fast forward and we say, what was Coach Des preparing that group for? And again, like you've mentioned, I think out of all the teams at the WAFCON tournament, we've played the most teams outside of Africa. So preparations, although, we may look at it at surface level and say preparations may have not been the greatest, I think we've used our time well. We've used our time well.
Considering the fact that we were going to them, so we were playing out there, getting used to different atmospheres.
For sure.
And things like getting used to traveling and playing there and stuff. So
No, I hear you. And I think out of the results from all of these teams, Banyana Banyana and Morocco are in the most form. They've obviously recorded the most wins, I guess, out of all of their friendlies that they've played. But the tournament starts on the 5th of July, runs all the way to the 26th. So we need you guys to, tap in, follow the girls,
support them, wear your Banyana Banyana t-shirts or your South African colors,
No doubt. And South Africa's first game is on Monday the 7th of July, and they're up against Ghana. I think that's going to be a very good game.
Oh, I also heard that they came into this tournament and they want to make it to the knockout stages.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Ghana...
Debutants, right?
Another one, No, they don't. Ghana, not a chance. I feel like all we've been speaking about is rebuilding on this episode, but Ghana's been a team, very, the very good team to have in your continental tournaments. They've always been up there. I think now in most recent years, Morocco has taken that place of what Ghana was, right? But nonetheless, they are looking to redeem themselves. They have mentioned that they're looking to come out of the knockout or come out and go into the knockout stages. So, opening match for South Africa, we're going up against everything that challenges us, physicality,
and
strong. So, it's a team that has something to prove. They're playing the reigning champions. I think it's going to be a fantastic game, a very good opener for South Africa's campaign. Then they go on to play Tanzania, if I'm not mistaken. We have seen in recent years, I think it was Olympic qualifiers, we did see South Africa play Tanzania. We were obviously successful in that round of the qualifiers. So I'm not too worried about Tanzania.
Because they're also bringing like fresh blood. There's a lot of young people in that squad.
And then they wrap up the group against Mali. Also, me personally, I don't know much about Mali, but they've also mentioned that they are looking, to come out of the group. They've coined this group as a group of death. So I don't know. For me, I feel like Group A is a lot more tough.
Yeah, it is.
With Zambia and Morocco in that group.
That's
Senegal,
the group of death.
Senegal.
Like when I look at that group, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So no, man, I think it's gonna be exciting. We do say we support our girls. It's RSA. RSA.
Not DNA, just
RSA. And we want to get behind the girls as much as we as a nation got behind
Cricket's just won now.
Forget that.
Rugby stuff,
True.
so they must.
True.
It's still the national team. They're still representing
That's fair.
the
That's
country.
fair. Yeah, no. But you can see the color I'm wearing, and I'm a part of the happy people. So for me to have,
even mentioned Sundowns.
you see. They were telling us on Twitter.
The heart is not, but you just have to.
So they're telling us on Twitter, no, guys must support, so we need to get behind, but collectively, you're right in saying, just as we did with the cricket, just as we do with the rugby, let's do it for Banyana. We currently are title holders of this tournament, and let's see Coach Des do a double. Yeah, back to
That
back.
would be sick, eh?
Back to back. He'll be like Drake. Back to back.
Yeah. So